Bothy Threads, the home of happy stitching. In this video, we're going to take you through our guide of how to choose the best kit for you. One of the questions our customers most frequently ask us is which kit is the best one for me? With over 600 designs always available and another 100 being developed each year, we aim to have something for everyone. So here's our handy 3-point guide to help you choose your next project. Your first consideration is which kind of stitch you want to use. Most Bothy Thread kits are counted cross stitch. This means that you're working on a plain fabric called Ada from a chart. They're not stamped, so the actual design itself is not printed on the Ada. However, sometimes we do print the background for you. The work is done in stranded cottons, which are also known as silks or floss. This is a cross stitch, but then back stitch can be added for the details. An extension of these are our black work kits, which are worked mainly in back stitch. Again, in stranded cotton, we have our silken long stitch, where a basic outline of the design is printed onto a fine canvas. The long stitch can be also worked in wools on a slightly less fine canvas, and wools are also used in our tapestry kits. If you fancy a smaller project, we also have a range of cards worked in cross stitch. A second consideration is the amount of stitching involved. An obvious factor is the size of the finished design. Do you want to be spending 5 hours or 5 months working on your project? A less obvious factor is the amount of Ada that is actually covered in stitches. This can sometimes be deceptive. For example, in our Beach Hut Fun kit, we use a blue Ada, meaning that none of the sky is stitched. And in this lunar design, the whole of the background has been printed for you, meaning that you're only actually working the silhouette. Again, the count of the fabric makes a difference. The count of a fabric is measured in HPI, or holes per inch. For example here, I have an Ada that is 6 HPI. As you can see, for an inch we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Ada blocks, 6 Ada holes, so this is 6 HPI or 6 count Ada. Most of Bothy's designs are worked on a 14 or a 16 count Ada, the 14 being slightly easier on the eye. The same goes for our tapestry canvases. They are either a 12 or a 10 count. This means that for the same area of cushion, you'll actually be working more stitches on this finer 12 count. Our third and final consideration is the level of detail in the design. This can be seen by looking at the full colour picture on the front of our kits. For example, in the Rendell series, as shown here with Jolly Robin, we use mainly full cross stitches with only minimal backstitch detailing, whereas our Love series is far more challenging. I have here a design called Love Heart. As you can see, a lot of the design is worked in cross stitch, but much of these uses a metallic thread, which some people find a little tricky to use. There's a lot of backstitch detail in this design, and also these beads are then added as embellishments. All of this information can be found at the bottom of your kit front, as shown here with this rather challenging cut-through Noah's Ark design. It tells us that the design is worked on a fine 16 count Ada. It contains pre-sorted stranded cottons, including a challenging sparkle thread and variegated thread. Also tells us that the design uses full cross stitches, back stitch and French knots, which some stitchers find more challenging. So, as a beginner, what's the kit for me? First, decide whether you want to do a cross stitch, long stitch or tapestry. Then you need to look at the size of the design and the count of the fabric. Finally, look at the level of detail in the design. Watch out for specialised threads and more challenging stitches. Happy stitching! If you have any questions, please get in touch. You can give us a ring or send us an email. We also have a very friendly Facebook group where you can share your stitching stories.